Hello, my name is Jasmine and today we are going to learn how to make lengua en mole verde, which is cow tongue in a homemade green sauce. This recipe belongs to my mother and is one of my favorite dishes to make with her. Our first step will be gathering our ingredients. This will include 1 cow tongue from your local butcher, make sure it's nice and pink, 5 pasilla chiles, which will be large, green, and curved. Then you can choose 1 onion, it doesn't matter if it's purple, white, or yellow, and then about 8 to 10 tomatillos depending on the size of your dish. You're going to want 2 garlic heads, and then depending on how spicy you want your dish, it's going to be 2 to 3 serrano peppers. And lastly, salt, butter, and milk. The first part of the recipe will be preparing the lengua. Rinse the lengua with water and then fill a pot with enough water to cover it. Include 2 heads of garlic and 1 entire onion, some salt, and let it boil for about an hour. After the lengua has been boiling for about 5 minutes, you will want to take the top layer of fat off with a spoon. Every few minutes you're going to want to check on the lengua and poke it with a knife. If the knife kind of sticks and has trouble taking out, that means the lengua is not ready yet. You will know that the lengua is ready when the knife can easily go through the meat all the way through without trouble. Once your knife can easily poke through the lengua, you're going to want to take it out, put it on a plate, and let it cool off. In order to help this process, you might want to cut the lengua into large chunks. Once the lengua is cool enough to handle, you're going to want to take a knife and remove the hard, coarse taste buds around the lengua. Once the lengua is peeled, you will want to cut it into tiny, small squares in preparation for the mole verde we're about to make. Next, we'll be moving on to the second part of our recipe, which is making the mole verde. We'll start by toasting all of our chile pasillas, either directly on the flame or on a pan. You want to make sure that the entire chile is covered, and then you want to put them in a plate and cover them with a bag so that the skin can get nice and soft and easier to peel. While we wait for the chile skin to soften up, we're going to prepare the rest of the salsa by peeling the tomatillos and taking off the tops of the serrano peppers. You're going to want to rinse them really nicely to take off all the starch, and then next, put a small amount of water to boil. You'll know that tomatillos and serrano peppers are ready once the tomatillos have lost their bright green color, and you'll next want to put them into a blender, including the water that they were boiling in. At this time, the chile pasilla that we had set aside earlier will be soft enough to peel. You're going to want to grab a fork and knife and use this to peel the chile and remove the seeds from the inside. Try not to let your skin touch the chile. Using the fork and knife, you're going to want to take off all of the black skin around the chile, and then lastly, you're going to want to open it up and remove all of the seeds. Once you've cleaned the skin and seeds off of all of your chiles, you're going to next put them into the blender that we had earlier put the tomatillos into. Along with this, you're going to put a clove of garlic and some butter, as well as a little bit of milk and some salt at the end. These are the components that will make up our mole verde. You will then blend all of these ingredients into a nice, smooth sauce. In order to get this consistency, you might need to blend for at least a minute. Once you have the sauce ready, you will next transfer it into a pot and heat it on low. We are now ready for the final step of our recipe, which is combining the mole and lengua. Go ahead and grab the lengua we cut earlier and put it into the simmering pot of mole verde. Make sure to mix the lengua into the mole verde and then allow both of them to simmer for a little bit. After this, you're ready to serve it on the side of any dish you'd like. Thank you for joining me on this recipe, and I hope you enjoyed making this dish.